Hey YouTube, gonna do a video. I built a rocket stove. You can go to my other video and watch that on how to build the rocket stove. It's very easy, fast, no tools needed. Everything goes together quick. Well, I got to thinking after watching some other videos and watching people build the candle heater. So I got to thinking, well, I could do it with this rocket stove I built, and that way you could use this rocket stove for two things. You could use it for cooking, sterilizing water in an emergency, and you could also use it for heat, like a candle heater. So I'm going to do a little testing. As you can see, it's nice and cold outside. It's about 19 degrees outside. I'll be doing this in the garage. Of course, be careful with carbon monoxide. I'm only going to be using 3 of these tea candles. With the cake, or the bake, they use bread pans. You can go on other videos and just type in bread pan candle heater. They use these clay pots. I do need to stress though, anytime you're using these type of heaters, you're going to be burning up oxygen. I'm only using 3 candles right now, and I'm in the garage, and I think there's plenty of square feet in here. It's not going to be burning up too much oxygen. I have oxygen, or a carbon monoxide detector in here, so just be very careful when you're using these type of heaters. You want to have ventilation. Okay, this is all you'll need to adapt to my rocket stove for the candle heater. You'll need this pot. I just went to the Menards and bought this stuff. It's really cheap. I think this is a 7-inch. 7 by 8. Then you have a 6 by 6. You have a small, this is a 4-inch pot, 4 by 4, and then I bought this to put on top, and this is about a 9 or 10-inch clay. This upper one, this larger one here was about, let's see, how much was that? That's a bigger one. That one was $5, and then this one was around $3. And this one was $2. This here was a couple dollars. A lot of the bread pan heaters they'll use like 4 to 5 candles. I'm only going to use 3. Just do a little testing, and plus that's all I can fit in this rocket stove here, so we'll see what happens this first time and maybe come up with a different way, but I can only fit 3 of them in here. Let's get going. Okay, here's the rocket stove. I put one of the candles inside. I'm going to light it in the middle. Got that one lit. I'm going to light another one and put it inside this tube here. Push it in. Then I'll put another one more, like that. Okay, we got 3 of them going. This is where the cool air will come in here and get warmed up and then go up through the top. Okay, I'm just going to take the 7-inch. Again, a lot of the other type, they have to bolt them together, but I'm not doing that. I'm just making it easy. This will sit right on top. This is the 9-inch. And the pipe should heat up, and it should get, this pipe down here, down lower here, should heat up and catch any of the hot air that flows up into here. And then, of course, the top, this should all fill up. There's a hole. I'll set this 6-inch pot on top of that. So now the air should be flowing all the way through this larger pot. All this area here should be heating up, and then up through that top hole. Now what I want to do is, that's why I bought this, to put on top to block that top hole off, so any of that. Then you can sit around and hopefully some of the hot air will be flowing out through the top there. All 3 candles are still going. And I put the smaller pot I put right here, so that this area inside here can warm up a little, and hopefully it gets enough oxygen in there to keep the air flowing. Okay, I'll do this and I'll come back out in about 15 minutes. Right now, well, let's check the temperatures right now. Everything's around, the small pot on the end there's about 35. The iron down lower here, about 36. Larger pot up to about 38 degrees, 35. So everything's from 33 to 35 degrees. We'll come out in about 15 minutes and see what's happening. Okay, we've been about 15 minutes and we'll do some more testing. The upper pots are around 64 degrees. Down lower here we're getting to about 70 degrees, 65. The small pot on the end is around 60 degrees. The irons up to about 50 degrees. So we went from 35 to 60 to 70 degrees. This top here's still around 55 to 60 degrees. So it's heating up. We'll come back another 15 minutes. Okay, it's been a half hour. I did a reading up inside on the exhaust pipe going up through the pots, and it came up to 132 degrees on the pipe, so that's definitely heating up. Now if I touch this pipe, it's hot to the touch. I can't hold my finger on it right now. I can touch it, but it's getting hot. Let's do some more readings. We're getting up to around 90 degrees on this lower. Well, on the lower pot it's about 73. That's not coming in very good for some reason. And up above it's hitting to about 90 degrees. know this iron's hotter than 54 degrees. Let me feel that. Yeah, it's warm. It's real warm. It's more than 54 degrees, so that's not putting out a very... Must be reflecting off of there. The smaller pot's at, 55 degrees. That heat's rising up and we're getting... So we went from 35 to 90 degrees so far. It's 40 degrees in here. And I can feel I can definitely feel just a little bit of warmth coming through there. If I put my hands on it, it's warm. I can hold it. It's not hot, but it's warm. Come back in 15 minutes. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. We'll see what we're getting. We were getting up to about 100 degrees right in here, this area here. So we're up to 100 degrees. It's definitely heating up, about 80s to 90. The upper pot here is a lot warmer, getting 90 to 100. You get down to this lower pot, we're doing pretty good on the lower pot too. We get down to this outer edge and we're about 80 degrees. The smaller pot here is up to 70 degrees. So in 45 minutes we've gone from 35 to, right around 100 degrees or so. We'll come back in another 15 minutes. Let's see what this iron down here is around 80 degrees. I think it's getting a reflection, so it ain't reading right, but let me feel it. It's hot. I can't hold my thumb on it, so it's definitely warmer than... It's over 100 degrees on that iron. Be back in 15 minutes. Okay, YouTube, it's been about an hour. We're getting readings anywhere from 108 to, 90 degrees to 108. And it seems like it's staying pretty constant now. It's not heating up much anymore. There you have it. I'll come back. I'll let it run for an hour. Come back in an hour and see what we're getting to see how consistent it stays. But it's something if you're in an emergency and need to warm up a bit. You have to get pretty close. You could put a blanket around you and warm your hand. You can put your hands on it and warm your hands. It's nothing big, but it's something. Come back in an hour. I want to kind of see how long these little tea candles burn too, so with just 3 of them. Okay, I came back after only a half hour, so it's been 1.5 hours. The temperature is still going up. We're up to about 126 degrees now in some areas. I was checking this pipe right in here. That's up to it was up to 150 degrees. But see, you can see it's 130 or so degrees. So it's still heating up a bit. But for the majority of it, it's like around 100 to 110 or so. We'll try up in here. This upper part here is up to about 120, so it's pumping out the heat. We'll come back later. Okay, YouTube's been 2 hours. All 3 candles are still burning. They're just, I wanted to show you these candles. They're called USA tea light candles. They're just a small, standard, cheap candles that you can get. But this thing is still doing really good. After 2 hours, it's still running great. That's all I wanted to show that. Yeah, we're going anywhere. Up in this area, we're hitting 115 to 120 degrees, so it's warming up. You know, I can definitely feel the heat coming. It's doing better than I expected it to do with just 3 candles. But okay, we'll come back in another half hour to an hour. I want to see how long these tea light candles last. There you go, YouTube. 3 hours and still going strong. 114 degrees. So those candles will last at least 3 hours. Those small candles. We'll wait another hour, see if it's still going. Okay, YouTubers, the candles lasted for about 3 hours and 15 minutes. Stayed pretty good, about 100 to 105 degrees. Consistent for the total 3 hours at least. What I did was I went ahead and I can fit 3 candles inside this tube, so I put another candle. So now I'm going to run 4 candles. And just to show you, this, I can feel the heat a lot better coming out of there. I mean, you could definitely stay warm if you sat close to this. It's 40 degrees here in the garage. I mean, the temperature's just staying a lot more consistent, and it's quite a bit higher, you know. It's running anywhere from 120 to 110 to 120, and it's more consistent throughout the whole area here. There it is, YouTube. It's not going to heat the whole garage, but if you have an emergency, it would be something to help keep you warm. Thanks, YouTube. I had to come back one more time, YouTube, to show with the 4 candles. It's been about an hour, and the 4 candles really made a big difference. It's up to about 145 degrees at the top here, and it's staying a lot more consistent throughout the clay. We're about 135 to 40 all the way. And I took the pot, the small pot, off of this end, and it didn't seem to make too much of a difference. This tube's getting awfully hot. It's about 176 degrees. 180. That's it, YouTube. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much. Thanks.